Good evening, everyone. Good evening, Jai Hind, Namaskar. I hope I am properly audible and visible to all of you. I hope I am properly audible and visible to all of you. Good evening. Okay. So, thank you for confirming this. I welcome you all to this session. So, how many of you have attended this open mock test? आप में से कितने लोगों ने ओपन मॉक टेस्ट अटेंड किया था? How many of you have attended the mock session and what has been your score? क्या स्कोर रहा है आप सभी का? You have joined? Okay. गुड इवनिंग सर. सर हमारा डाउट सेशन था. किस चीज़ का डाउट सेशन? एक्यूरेसी अच्छा नहीं आया? क्यों अच्छा क्यों नहीं आया? What was your accuracy in the exam, in the mock test? Good evening. सी सेट में 50 नंबर आ रहा है. चलो सी सेट में आपको पूरे 50 नंबर ही आ रहे हैं. You were able to solve 57 questions या 57 marks आया. How many marks you have secured? या फिर tell me how many questions you have marked correct out of 100. Bad experience. Actually we had planned for this, but अभी क्या हुआ चंचल की we are having continuous back-to-back sessions on Saturday. Like इस बार mock test था. That was one issue. अभी क्या है कि इस हफ्ते भी I think on Saturday we are having Eid. तो ये एक चैलेंज आ जा रहा है. प्लस देर इज ऑल्सो सम ऑफ द टेस्ट ऑफ साइंस एंड एनवायरमेंट विच आर देर इन द परिवर्तन बैच, जिनका शेड्यूलिंग सैटरडे संडे ऐसा पड़ रहा है. तो दैट इज वन ऑफ द चैलेंज. अभी बीच में वो शेड्यूल्स आ गए हैं, बट आई थिंक बाय द एंड ऑफ द मार्च दैट ऑल विल बी ओवर. उसके बाद फिर हमें टाइम मिल पाएगा. बाय द एंड ऑफ द मार्च दीज थिंग्स विल बी ओवर. अभी क्या सैटरडे इज गोइंग स्लाइटली बिजी. इनफैक्ट संडे ऑल्सो देर वर क्लासेस. तो दैट इज द रीजन. 57% एक्यूरेसी. देखो 57% अगर एक्यूरेसी है तो यू आर ऑन द वेरी गुड साइड. सर आई स्कोर्ड 13, ओनली 20 करेक्ट एंड 40 रॉन्ग. 60 में से 40 रॉन्ग हो गए. If it is your first mock test, then you don't have to worry. And if you are for 2027, you don't have to worry. I am especially concerned about those people who are giving exam in 2026. कि जो 2026 में एग्जाम दे रहे हैं. Those who are appearing in 2026, I am asking mainly from them. तो डू टेल मी जो 26 वाले हैं वो कौन कौन से हैं. हाउ मेनी ऑफ यू आर अपियरिंग इन 26 एंड व्हाट इज योर एक्यूरेसी. अभी 26 वाले नहीं है, अभी सिर्फ 27 वाले हैं क्या. तो चंचल हाउ वाज योर स्कोर इन द मॉक टेस्ट. आपका स्कोर कितना था. शंकर टेल मी वन थिंग. एक हफ्ते में आपने सीसेट पे काम किया है. इन द लास्ट 1 वीक हैव यू वर्कड ऑन सीसेट. तो सिमिलर टॉपिक में कंफ्यूजन हो रहा है, सब मिक्स हो जा रहा है. तो दैट इज व्हाई आई आस्क्ड यू टू गिव द मॉक टेस्ट. क्योंकि अभी आपने मॉक टेस्ट दिया you know that you have read those concepts, and if you are having problem in solving the questions, so this is the 60-70 days where you will have to work. ये जो 60 दिन 70 दिन का समय बाकी है, इसी में तो आपको वर्क करना है. इन द नेक्स्ट 2 months you can focus on those topics where you are having the doubt. सीसेट में पहले से सुधार है. शंकर, आपका चेंज आया कि नहीं सीसेट में? तो इफ देर इज एक्यूरेसी मोर देन 60%, 50% तो ठीक है. बट इफ यू आर हैविंग लेसर पार्ट, देन वर्क ऑन इट. उससे वर्क एंड टाइम एंड स्पीड एंड डिस्टेंस का क्वेश्चन सॉल्व नहीं हो रहा. तो शंकर, मेक अ टारगेट ना, दैट दिस वीक यू विल बी सॉल्विंग क्वेश्चंस ओनली फ्रॉम दैट एरिया. You will take multiple questions from time and work, multiple questions from this part of speed and distance. इसके multiple questions लो and then start solving it. हाँ, we will talk for 2027. Don't worry, we will talk for it. Yes, of course, Sanjana, you can be on track. You have 60 days. You have already read most of the portion. So you can be on track. फुल लेंथ टेस्ट में 46 से करीब एक्यूरेसी है. कॉम्प्रिहेंशन में कट जा रहा मार्क्स. ओके, तो improve a little bit. Identify the area, Chanchal, where you are missing. Identify those areas and work on it. I am unable to give much time to as internship and project are going on college. देखो, अब इसमें तो कोई ऑप्शन नहीं है. एक्यूरेसी मेरी अप्रोक्स 70% है सीसेट में. 70% एक्यूरेसी इज गुड. जस्ट वर्क ऑन दोज एस्पेक्ट शंकर वेयर यू आर नॉट एबल टू सॉल्व. जैसे आपको मालूम है कि टाइम एंड वर्क प्लस स्पीड डिस्टेंस, दिस इज वन चैलेंजिंग पार्ट, तो उसी पे काम करो. आई एम नॉट अवेयर अबाउट दैट गुंजन कि इसका डिस्कशन है या नहीं. आई एम नॉट अवेयर अबाउट इट. चलो, तो लेट्स स्टार्ट. आज जो टॉपिक्स हम लोग डिस्कस करेंगे, फर्स्ट टॉपिक इज रिलेटेड टू एटॉमिक क्लॉक्स. सेकेंड टॉपिक इज द खर्ग आइलैंड. थर्ड टॉपिक इज ओबीसी क्रीमी लेयर. एंड फोर्थ टॉपिक इज रिलेटेड टू द पैसिव यूथनेशिया केस. तो ये सारे वो टॉपिक्स हैं जो आज के सेशन में हम लोग डिस्कस करेंगे. अजम्पशंस वाले क्वेश्चन है, उसमें प्रॉब्लम हो रही है. Don't worry about it, Chanchal. Work a little bit on it. And previous year questions भी देखो कि previous year questions में आप solve कर पा रहे हो कि नहीं. If you are having doubt in mock test, just see the PYQ कि वहाँ का assumption और reasoning आपसे आसानी से solve हो रहा है कि नहीं. If you are able to solve the UPSC level assumption and reasoning of GS part, then I think you can easily do it. So let's start with some of the questions. The 5 permanent members of UNSC can take any decision in USC without support of other members. The 10 non-permanent members cannot take a decision even if one permanent member of UNSC disagree. There are 3 non-permanent members from Western Europe. If you are having mistakes in passage, then प्रैक्टिस, यही मैं बोल सकता हूँ. हैव टू डू प्रैक्टिस. और क्या कर सकते हैं? जस्ट गो थ्रू द प्रीवियस ईयर क्वेश्चंस एंड प्रैक्टिस. बेस्ट ऑप्शन वही है. फॉर कॉम्प्रिहेंशन नाउ यू हैव क्वेश्चंस ऑफ मोर देन 10 to 12 ईयर्स. उसका प्रैक्टिस करो, ज्यादा बेटर है. हिस्ट्री पढ़ पढ़ के और भूल भूल के थक गए. Actually, there is a UPSC exam on that day. Which day? कौन से दिन पे? B option, A option, B option. The 5 permanent members of UNC can take any decision without support of other members. That is incorrect. The 10 non-permanent members cannot take a decision even if one permanent of UNSC disagree. This one is correct. There are 3 non-permanent members from Western Europe. That is incorrect. From Western Europe, we have from Western Europe, we have 2 non-permanent members. From Eastern Europe, we have 1 non-permanent members. The correct answer will be option number A, that is only 1. अगर 5 permanent members हैं, अगर उनकी बात करें, you know that there is a requirement of 9/15 votes for taking any decision. 9/15 की आवश्यकता होती है, तो 5 members alone cannot take a decision. Then comes the second part. 10 members, they also cannot take decision even if one of them disagree. So second statement is correct. Third is about the numbers. So here we have got 2 from Western Europe, 1 from Eastern Europe. Peptides are small chains of fatty acids. Peptides can help in cancer treatment. Peptides mimic the body's natural signal and send targeted instruction to certain cells. Acha, one more information. Tomorrow, the class timing will be 5:30 to 6:30. कल जो आपकी क्लास की टाइमिंग है उसमें थोड़ा सा चेंज है, फ्रॉम 5:30 to 6:30. द रीजन इज टुमारो वी हैव अ परिवर्तन बैच सेशन जिसमें मैं डिस्कस करूंगा टेस्ट पेपर्स को. And it takes almost 1 hour 15 minutes 20 minutes to reach back to my place for the online classes. कल की क्लासेस थोड़ी लेट से हो सकती है. करंट अफेयर अच्छे से सॉल्व हो रहा है सर टेस्ट सीरीज में, क्लासेस एंड पीडीएफ से ही. गुड. Peptides are small chain of fatty acids, correct. Peptides can help in cancer treatment. Sorry. Not fatty acids. That is amino acids. Not fatty acids, amino acids. First one is incorrect. Second and third is correct. So answer will be option number B. Answer will be option number B. Yes, it is amino acids, not the fatty acids. तीसरा है, the share of women MPs in Lok Sabha has increased consistently in the last 5 Lok Sabha. The number of women voters have increased in the recent times. The success rate of female candidates in Lok Sabha elections are higher as compared to male candidates. Question number 3. बी ऑप्शन कौन सा गलत स्टेटमेंट है? कैन यू टेल मी विच स्टेटमेंट इज नॉट करेक्ट? 2 and 3 ओनली. बहुत अच्छी बात है. तो देयर इज अ कंसिस्टेंट आंसर, दैट इज बी ऑप्शन, ओनली 2. तीसरा और दूसरा सही है, पहला गलत है, बिकॉज इट इज नॉट कंसिस्टेंट इन द लास्ट 5 लोकसभा इलेक्शंस. इट इज नॉट कंसिस्टेंट इन द लास्ट 5 लोकसभा इलेक्शंस. So here the correct answer is option number B, that is 2 and 3 only. तो ये तो एक पार्ट हो गई. Now we are talking about this atomic clocks. Okay. Sir, why veto power was introduced in UNSC except majority? देखो, it is not like veto power was introduced. From the beginning, the structure of UNSC has been made in such a manner, ये 5 जो है वो परमानेंट एक स्ट्रक्चर के रूप में रहेंगे. They 5 will be the chosen 5 more powerful. They can veto any decision. So UNSC have been created sort of by the powerful countries. ऐसा तो है नहीं कि UNSC को इक्वलिटी के लिए बनाया गया. It was not for equality. It was having like the distribution of power among the powerfuls. Okay. It was about the distribution of power among the powerful countries. United Nations, people believe that it is for equality, it is for equal voice of all the nations, but in actual, the basic structure of UN is such that it is for just a few powerful countries. Instead of creating a monopoly, it has created a oligopoly. यहाँ पे monopoly ना होकर बस oligopoly है. तो UNSC or United Nation itself is not like everyone's helper, It is not for everyone, not for the poor countries. It is more for the rich nations. Okay. Like you will find that IMF also, World Bank also, they have multiple better options of financing for the developed nations. But poor nations के लिए उनके terms and conditions लागू होने लगता है. For developed nations also, IMF provide loans, but these loans are without any term and conditions. But for smaller nations, for poor nations, they are having different terms and conditions. Now, let's come to this one part. There was a RTI application. There was a RTI application. To which institution? To ISRO. About what? About this Navik. So in my previous classes also, in my previous lectures also, I have told you that there are 7 functional satellites of Navik. But recent revelations about this Navik has brought this to picture that 3 satellites are operational. 3 satellites are purely functional. Other satellites are not working. Okay. Other satellites are not working. What we see that in the fourth satellite, there has been challenge of atomic clocks, or atomic clock is not working. The atomic clock is not working. So देखो, for any GPS operation, there is a requirement of minimum of 4 satellites. किसी भी GPS को काम करने के लिए कम से कम 4 सैटेलाइट की जरूरत होती. But what we see that in our Navik system, there is only 3 satellites which are purely functional or purely operational. The remaining satellites have become defunct. Their time period is over. They needed to be replaced, but the replacement has not been done yet. So only 3 satellites are functional as of now in the Navik system, the navigation with Indian constellation. So Indian GPS is not purely functional or fully operational in the present times. So ये एक challenge है with respect to the Navik. Now at the same time, there is a concept which has come up, that is atomic clock. Atomic clock. Please increase the volume. Volume तो है. I think everyone is getting the volume properly. सभी को volume मिल रहा है. I am speaking with the same intensity. Mic is also on the same intensity. It is showing me red. मैं तो ऐसे भी बहुत loud बोलता हूँ. Now, coming to this part, atomic clocks. When we talk about the atomic clock, this is a type of clock that use the vibrations of atom to measure the time. The vibrations which are there inside the atom, that is used for measuring the time. It is basically using the oscillation of the electrons in atoms to keep time. So like suppose we are deciding the second कि 1 second हुआ या 10 second हुआ या 1 minute हुआ, so we are not using atomic clocks. But in spacecraft, in the case of satellites, in the case of navigation system, even a minute change in time also matters a lot. एक microsecond की भी काफी value होती है. So what we see that in the case of the satellites, in the case of navigation, in case of space activities, we are using ultra precise clocks which are based on atomic clocks. और atomic clocks कैसे measure करते हैं? They measure according to the oscillation of electrons. Okay. So they are used in precise timing like GPS system, telecommunication and scientific research. तो इसमें इनका इस्तेमाल किया जाता है with respect to this atomic clock. Okay. Now here we see there is a type of clock called as CGM clock. इसका मैं आपको कुछ एग्जांपल बताता हूं. Like we are having the CGM clock. So this is used for time keeping. It is used to define the SI second at international level. जो आपने देखा होगा in class 8-9, the SI unit of time is second. The SI unit of time is second. ये आपने पढ़ा होगा. So how do we calculate second? That is from the CGM clocks. So CGM atoms, the oscillation of electrons of CGM atoms are used to define the second. तो इसका इस्तेमाल किया जाता है सेकेंड के लिए. So it has got long term stability and like many of them are using this CGM. Then we have rubidium clocks also. Here they use rubidium gas cell and most widely produced atomic clocks. So it is most compact, least expensive and highly portable. So this is something which we use in telecommunication, early GPS satellites and even audio equipments. So there we use the rubidium clocks. Then we have the hydrogen majors. They use hydrogen atoms and are known for extreme precision over short period. Okay. So here they are used for deep space navigation and radio astronomy. तो हाइड्रोजन के एटॉमिक क्लॉक्स हैं, रुबिडियम के हैं, सीजीएम के हैं and many others. But these three are the more like common atomic clocks. What is the concept? The concept is very simple. In order to define the second, we are using the oscillation period of the electrons. कि electrons जिस वे में oscillate कर रहे हैं, जितना टाइम ले रहे हैं, उसी के अनुसार we are defining the second, we are defining the time. So I hope ये clear है. So how many of you prefer to have a watch? आप में से कितने लोग वॉच पे डिपेंडेंट हैं या फिर मोबाइल फोन्स ने रिप्लेस कर दिया है? In UPSC prelims exam, you cannot carry smart watches. Cannot carry a smart watches. तो जो भी आपको फैंसी स्मार्ट वॉचेस लगती हैं, you cannot take them to UPSC prelims exam. No mobile phone, good. You know, in UPSC prelims exam, you might need your traditional watch, traditional like watch, classical watch in order to check the time. अगर आप स्मार्टफोन लेकर, स्मार्ट मोबाइल लेकर जाओगे, सॉरी स्मार्ट वॉच, if you are taking any smart watch, that will not be allowed. Needle watch, good. The smart watches nahi chalengi, you have to get the classical one. Now there is this one part in the newspaper. There is a place in news called as Kharg Island. It is located there in Iran. Let me show you the location first. Okay. This is one location in the Persian Gulf. Here we have one location. This is called as the Kharg Island. This is a territory of Iran. And you know, on Sunday or late Saturday, there was a news. There was a news. Let me show you that news report. Iran wants to make a deal, but terms not good enough. Might hit Kharg for fun. You can see that what the President of United States is saying, that we might be attacking an island because we want to have some fun. If you want to have some fun, go to play some baseball, go to play some games. You can play poker online. You can watch Netflix. But for having fun, who attacks one island? This is the type of sensitivity which we see in world leaders as of now. Okay. That he's saying that just for having fun, we are going to attack Iran. Just for having this fun, we are going to have an attack on one of the island of Iran. So that is one of the part which you can see. Now, let's come back to the map. देखो अभी आपको मैप दिख रहा है, यू माइट बी एबल टू सी द मैप नाउ. You can see that this is one such island. Okay. This is one such island which is called as the Kharg Island. This is called as the Kharg Island. It is there in this Persian Gulf near that of Iran. Okay. तो ईरान के पास में है. This is the Kharg Island which we can see here. If we talk about this island, it is acting as the primary export terminal for Iranian oil, which is generating billions in annual revenue for government and military. So it is the primary export terminal for the Iranian oil. Iran is doing most of its transport, most of its export of the oil to this Kharg Island. Then what we see that there is the deep waters in this island which allows to accommodate large super tankers which cannot be accommodated by other such islands or ports of Iran. So Iran के लिए strategically this island is very much crucial. This island is very much crucial for Iran, and so they have attacked it for having some fun. So Iran said that we will also have some fun. So that's why they decided this part, that there is one such area. It is called as Al Fuzairah. This is Al Fuzairah. This is part of UAE. Here you can see this map. I think this one is also visible. This is the Persian Gulf. Here we have a small island. Not island, there is a small port called as Al Fuzairah. Okay. So Al Fuzairah is also very good. And here what we see that it is outside this Strait of Hormuz. So आप देख सकते हो, this is outside the Strait of Hormuz, and it is acting as a secure export point for UAE oil. Okay. It is one of the world's top 3 bunkering hubs. So Iran ने बोला कि for attacking the Kharg Island, so we are also going to attack this Al Fuzairah. Okay. So this is one thing which we see what's going on in this part of Middle East, that they are attacking Iran in this Kharg Island. Iran is retaliating back in other islands of UAE. So this entire area is fighting among itself. They're fighting among itself. Like Iran is having a fight with UAE, Saudi Arabia. Iran is having fight with Qatar. Iran has make like various such attacks on various neighbors of it. Why they're fighting? So that US can have their oil. Who will be the ultimate beneficiary? Out of this entire arrangement, who is going to be the ultimate beneficiary? It doesn't matter who wins. The ultimate beneficiary is going to be the United States. United States will be getting all the oil. Now, US is getting all the oil. Till 31st March you have to prepare. उसके बाद आप बस revise करना. So what we see that in this area we see that US is getting all the oil and the rest other countries are fighting with each other. तो ये एक challenge है which is there in the West Asia as of now. तो ये बस 2 नाम याद रखना. The Russia get more money, but still, I don't get it. देखो, Russia and US both are powerful. If there is any war, both of them get the benefit. If US and Russia are going to war, they are getting the benefit. The other countries are making the loss. So that is one thing which we see in case of US also, in case of Russia also. Now let's come to this part, the OBC creamy layer. OBC creamy layer. तो जब यूपीएससी का फॉर्म रिलीज हुआ था, then also multiple people were having question because of it. When the form was released also, then also multiple people were asking question about OBC creamy layer. तो इस पर सुप्रीम कोर्ट का भी एक जजमेंट भी आया है. We will see that judgment part also, that what is the judgment with respect to OBC creamy layer. Now can you tell me this part? Tell me this one part. When we are talking about creamy layer, what is this concept? See, in case of India, we have the provision for reservation. We have the provision for reservation. But on what basis? This reservation has been given to scheduled castes, scheduled tribes and other backward classes. So on what basis? On what basis? If we are seeing that there is a EWS reservation, economically weaker section, तो वहां पे नाम ही लिखा हुआ है इकोनॉमिकली वीकर सेक्शन, दैट इज ऑन द बेसिस ऑफ इकोनॉमी. बट व्हेन वी टॉक अबाउट दिस कॉन्सेप्ट ऑफ अदर बैकवर्ड क्लासेस, शेड्यूल्ड कास्ट और शेड्यूल्ड ट्राइब्स, तो व्हाट इज द बेसिस ऑफ रिजर्वेशन? किस ग्राउंड पे रिजर्वेशन मिला है? ऑन व्हाट बेसिस द रिजर्वेशन हैज बीन एक्सटेंडेड टू शेड्यूल्ड कास्ट्स, शेड्यूल्ड ट्राइब्स और अदर बैकवर्ड क्लासेस? कास्ट के बेसिस पे सम क्राइटेरिया. क्या क्राइटेरिया क्या है? इफ यू लुक एट दिस, देयर आर सम फैक्टर्स लाइक सोशल, हिस्टोरिकल एंड इकोनॉमिक डिप्राइवेशन. It is on basis of social, historical and economic deprivation. Social, historical and economic deprivation. On this basis, reservation has been provided to scheduled caste, scheduled tribe and other backward classes. But in case of other backward classes, there is also a provision. In the case of other backward classes, there is also a provision of creamy layer. There is also a provision of creamy layer. What is this? On economic ground. On economic ground. That is on wealth and income. On this ground, in the other backward classes, there is a concept of creamy layer. That if someone belongs to creamy layer, they will not get the reservation. On what basis it is decided? One factor is parental income. If the parental income exceeds 8 lakh rupees, if the parental income exceeds 8 lakh rupees, then they will come under the creamy layer. Creamy layer. So they will be getting no such reservation. और जिनका भी parental income 8 लाख से कम है, those who are having parental income less than 8 lakh, they will be eligible for this reservation under other backward classes. So this is one part. Social, employment, income, historical also. ठीक है, बिल्कुल. Socio-economic deprivation. हाँ, wealth plus income. Wealth plus income इस पर depend करता है. But there are certain exemptions, certain people who are included, some who are not included. So there are certain automatic exclusion. There is a automatic exclusion list. It consists of children of parent holding constitutional posts like president, judges, etc. They will not be having the benefit of reservation. Children of Group A, Class 1 officers, direct recruitment. If there is a person who has been directly recruited to Group A, their future generation will not be getting the OBC reservation. Okay. तो फ्यूचर जनरेशन को ओबीसी का रिजर्वेशन नहीं मिलेगा. सेकेंड पार्ट इज चिल्ड्रन ऑफ ऑफिसर प्रोमोटेड टू ग्रुप ए बिफोर द एज ऑफ 40 ईयर्स, तब भी नहीं मिलेगा. चिल्ड्रन ऑफ पेरेंट्स वेयर बोथ आर ग्रुप बी और क्लास 2 ऑफिसर्स, अगर दोनों पेरेंट हैं, दोनों ग्रुप बी में है, तब भी उनको नहीं मिलेगा. If one of the parent is in group B and other is not of group B, ऐसा नहीं कि ग्रुप A में चले गए तो if one of the parent is in group B, other may be simply not working or working in private job or anything else, so then they will be eligible. But if both parents are in group B, they will not be eligible. Children of armed force officer with the rank of colonel and above, and for some services it is लेफ्टिनेंट कर्नल, तो दे आर एक्सक्लूडेड, मीन्स इनको तो नहीं मिलेगा, इनको रिजर्वेशन का बेनिफिट नहीं मिलेगा. नाउ व्हाट वी सी दैट चिल्ड्रन ऑफ ग्रुप सी एंड ग्रुप डी एम्प्लॉइज रिगार्डलेस ऑफ सैलरी प्रोवाइडेड, दे विल नॉट हैव एक्सक्लूजन फ्रॉम द रिजर्वेशन. हाँ, इफ देयर इज अदर सोर्सेज ऑफ इनकम, मान लो उनका कोई अपना बिजनेस चल रहा है, some other sources of income are there other than agriculture, तो उससे अगर इनकम आ रही है तो on that basis they can be excluded. Then children of group B officers where only one parent is in service unless promoted to group A before the age of 40 years, यानी 40 साल से पहले वो अगर ग्रुप ए में चले गए तब भी रिजर्वेशन का बेनिफिट नहीं मिलेगा. Now what Supreme Court has said, Supreme Court has said that income cannot be the only criteria, cannot be sole criteria for exclusion. जैसे एग्जाम्पल के तौर पे let us understand it by example. If there is a person XYZ, he is working in Bharat Petroleum. इज वर्किंग इन भारत पेट्रोलियम. इस व्यक्ति की जो मंथली सैलरी है, मंथली इज गेटिंग 1 लाख रुपीज, तो साल में हो गए 12 लाख. तो नॉर्मली इफ यू लुक एट दिस पर्सन इज क्रॉसिंग द 8 लाख रुपीज बैरियर, बट से दैट ही इज नॉट इन ग्रुप ए और ग्रुप बी. एक पर्सन है जो ना तो ग्रुप ए में है ना ही ग्रुप बी में है, he has reached to the age of retirement और फिर उसकी सैलरी 1 लाख के आसपास पे पहुंच गई है. तो simply on this ground he cannot be, his children will not be debarred from this reservation benefit. यहां पे सिर्फ इनकम के आधार पे नहीं हटाया जाएगा. If there is a person who is in PSU, they are not group A officer. If a person is in group A officer, तब तो कोई चांस नहीं है. But if a person is there who is not a group A officer but salary is higher, so their children will still be able to avail the reservation benefit. तो पहले ये समझना कि ये जो जजमेंट है वो किन के लिए आया है. This is for those people who are in the job in government offices. ये सभी के लिए नहीं है. It is for those who are in government offices, like PSU में कोई काम कर रहा है, कोई रेलवे में काम कर रहा है, दे आर वर्किंग इन आर्मी और एनी अदर थिंग. एंड इन दैट केस इफ द इनकम एक्सीड्स 8 लाख बट दे आर नाइदर इन ग्रुप ए नॉर द बोथ पेरेंट्स आर इन ग्रुप बी, देन इन दैट सिचुएशन their income alone will not be used to exclude them from reservation benefit. Okay, so this is one part. Now inflation is there. So this is one part. This is the इंक्लूजन एंड एक्सक्लूजन पार्ट कि नब अब ये इस पे डिपेंड करेगा. दिस इज नॉट गोइंग टू डिपेंड ऑन द सैलरी, दिस इज गोइंग टू डिपेंड ऑन द क्लास इन विच दे आर वर्किंग, whether they are group A officer or if both parents are there, are they both group B officers. तो इसके बेसिस पे डिसाइड होगा. आई होप दैट इज क्लियर. Those who are excluded from this will get counted in general. Now if you look at this, there are more than 100 candidates in civil services examination, those who have been debarred in the last 10 years. Okay. So they might get some benefit from this. So this is the OBC reservation part. Now coming to this one section, a case of euthanasia. सर इको एनवायरमेंट में कितना क्वेश्चन आता है मेंस में? तीन क्वेश्चन या 4 क्वेश्चन, दोनों से, मीन्स इन टोटल 6 to 8 क्वेश्चन. मैं तो जनरल हूँ, कुछ भी नहीं है. हाँ देखो, इफ यू आर यू कैन ट्राई फॉर EWS, बट उसमें भी अगर आपके पास इनकम अधिक है तो देन यू डोंट नीड इट. दिस इज नॉट जस्ट लाइक एवरीवन विल गेट रिजर्वेशन. अगर सभी को रिजर्वेशन मिलेगा देन देयर विल बी नो इक्वलिटी. रिजर्वेशन इज फॉर ब्रिजिंग द गैप इन सोसाइटी. Now, coming to this one term, euthanasia. The सभी गवर्नमेंट सर्वेंट है, then you will get nothing. Then you will get nothing. If everyone is government servant, so you should open your own office. EWS cutoff is less than that of OBC in the recent times also. We have seen in UPSC exam also EWS has got lesser cutoff as compared to OBC. Now let's start. There is this one concept called as euthanasia. देखो यहाँ पे very important judgment is there, and we have discussed it prior also that there was a person, Harish Rana. So at the age of 19 years there was an accident, and for 13 years he has been in coma. So there was a person, Harish Rana, at the age of 19 years, he has met with an accident, and from the last 13 years, he was in coma. There has been multiple cases in between. There has been multiple such appeals in between. But what we see that euthanasia has not been allowed for Harish Rana for a long period of time. But finally, Supreme Court has allowed it. So it has become a landmark judgment. So now we see this one part, what actually has been said by Supreme Court. Supreme Court has said that the person has been in a vegetative state for nearly 13 years. So on the ground that the treatment had become futile as one not in his best interest, and that he has to right to die with dignity. So on this ground, on the right to die with dignity ground, he was given this euthanasia. अब यहाँ पे एक और चीज समझना, Supreme Court has also said this one thing, okay, that the term passive euthanasia is obsolete. It said the term euthanasia in India would strictly refer only to active euthanasia. तो सुप्रीम कोर्ट ने कहा है कि यूथनेशिया मीन्स एक्टिव यूथनेशिया ओनली. He said that the withdrawing or withholding of medical treatment would replace the term passive euthanasia. तो आप एग्जाम में जब लिखोगे तो you will not be writing passive euthanasia, rather than you will have to write withdrawing or withholding of medical treatment. तो पहले जो आप पैसिव यूथनेशिया लिखा करते थे कि देयर इज टू टाइप ऑफ यूथनेशिया, एक्टिव यूथनेशिया एंड पैसिव यूथनेशिया. In active euthanasia, we are like providing some medicines, some injection to kill a person. It is not allowed in India. And passive euthanasia is a type of euthanasia in which the medical support is withdrawn and then the person naturally dies sooner as compared to the treatment method. ये person जो है उसकी जल्दी death हो जाती है by drawing the ventilator support and everything. So Supreme Court has said this, that there is nothing like passive euthanasia. If you are withholding also, it simply means that you are doing an action. Okay. So here it said that passive euthanasia is obsolete. There will be use of withdrawing or withholding of medical treatment, which will be replacing the term passive euthanasia. Okay. So this is one of the part which we see. Okay. Now here we see that there have been some other cases. In Gyan Kaur versus the state of Punjab case in 1996, it was said that the right to life does not include the right to die. But it was acknowledged that death with dignity at the end of life is also part of right to life. So this was one part, the first such very important case, Gyan Kaur versus the state of Punjab. Then this was the most famous one, Aruna Ramchandra Shaunbag case versus Union of India case. Okay. Now see this, that this was allowing the recognition of passive euthanasia in India. It allowed passive euthanasia in India, but active euthanasia was not allowed. And for Aruna Shaunbag, the active euthanasia was denied and she died because of natural reasons in 2015. So in case of Aruna Shaunbag, she was denied this active euthanasia and she died naturally in 2015. So that was one of the case of Aruna Shaunbag. Then this is common cause versus Union of India case. Here it declared passive euthanasia legal and recognized living wills or advance directives. Okay. And it said that individuals have the right to refuse life prolonging medical treatment. So that is common cause versus Union of India case. तो हर केस में अलग अलग टाइप से थोड़ा जजमेंट आया है. Now we see that for the first time passive euthanasia has been allowed in a case where both medical boards have said that yes, it is futile to provide medication for Harish Rana, that although it's quite difficult to let someone die, but in the case of this one case, the prolonging of life is not a dignified part of his life. So what we see that he has been allowed with this passive euthanasia. किस केस में passive euthanasia को allow किया गया, that he can die with dignity. So this is the first ever case where it has been allowed. Now I will give you this one question for you, that what are the ethical challenges? What are the ethical challenges in euthanasia? What are the ethical challenges in euthanasia? What are the dilemmas? Ethical dilemma. नहीं, challenges छोड़ो, ethical dilemma. Ethical dilemma. What are the ethical dilemma which are related to euthanasia? ये क्वेश्चन है आपके. This is one of the question कि ethical dilemma क्या होता है. In case of euthanasia, what is the ethical dilemma? Should it be allowed? Should it not be allowed? You can think about this. How difficult is a decision to let someone die by withdrawal of this medical support. Okay. तो आप सभी लोगों ने एथिक्स पढ़ा है. Do read about some of the terminologies related to this. और ये क्वेश्चन है जिसका आंसर मैं कल फिर से पूछूंगा. आई विल बी आस्किंग यू. देखो, पैसिव यूथनेशिया जो पहले बोला जाता था कि पैसिव यूथनेशिया है, इट इज अ टाइप ऑफ euthanasia in which the medical support is withdrawn. Let's suppose that a person is consistently on ventilator. एक person को ventilator पे रखा गया है. On ventilator, the person can survive for, let's say, 5 years, 7 years, 10 years. But as soon as we withdraw the ventilator support, the person will die sooner, within just a few days or a few hours. So that is a kind of passive euthanasia. If there is no chance of recovery, on medicine, on treatment, it may take 10 years, 20 years for that person to survive. There is no hope of recovery. वहां से ठीक हो ही नहीं सकता. Every day it will be degrading. Okay. So that is one thing which we see in passive euthanasia. We allow the patient to die quickly, to die sooner, as opposed to prolonged life for the person. So this is one part, what is passive euthanasia. I hope that is clear. तो पहले ये होता था, ठीक है. Now we see that like the Supreme Court has said that the passive euthanasia will also be regarded as active euthanasia. Passive euthanasia will also be regarded as active euthanasia. There is only euthanasia. So that will be all for today. ये topic है. And see, while all the challenges are going in the world, we do have something extra also. So now think about this, that there has been a 13-year fight to just decide on this, that a person should be allowed to die in hospital or not. On one side, we are discussing this part, that should a person be allowed to die in the hospital or not. On the other hand, there is a war going on in West Asia, in which thousands of people have been killed without any warning, without any such like they didn't have committed. Many of the schools have been bombed. Many of the schools have been bombed. So any parties which are involved in war, so for them it may be profit making. For the common innocent citizens, it is the tragedy. Okay. So on one side, we are discussing whether a person who is already in a state where there is no meaning of life, should he be allowed to die or not. On the other hand, we see that there are some people in the world who are having war for fun, having or dropping bomb for just having some fun. That will be all. Thank you everyone. Take care.